Recognize the gentleman from Washington State, Mr. Newhouse, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I want to thank the ranking member as well for this hearing today, and also thank you folks for being here. I can't see you all, but I'll try my best. So this is a big deal in my district. I come from Central Washington State. Fully 18% of the households in my district utilize the SNAP program. So it's very valuable, especially, as you know, for low-income communities like I have a lot of. But as was said before, the intention of this program is to be supplemental, and we all understand that, to help families during hard times. Currently, our unemployment rate in this country is just over 4%. And we have, I think, nationwide, something like 7 million jobs open. In my state alone, there's about between, 150 to 170,000 jobs open right now. And yet, the numbers I hear that only a quarter of those people that are, I hate the acronym ABOD, but it sounds kind of weird, but that people in that category, only about a quarter are actually working. So I look forward to working with this committee, people on both sides of the aisle, to strengthen this relationship between SNAP and employment. I'm proud of the work that the committee has accomplished so far. I do agree that we have some work to do. I think Ms. Rashidi mentioned something about the benefits cliff, and I think that that's absolutely a place where we can make improvements. I think we all want the same thing. We want healthy communities. We want healthy members of those communities who contribute to the overall good. And things like working, education and training programs, volunteerism are all good things to encourage people to do and all qualify for receiving SNAP benefits. I wholeheartedly agree with Mr. Lewis when he made the comment that, I can't quote exactly, but he told us that the SNAP and ET programs, when combined, are some of the best and most efficient use of scarce taxpayer dollars. And I would add, while at the same time, they encourage people to become self-sufficient, encourage and enable people to do those things. So important stuff here that we're talking about, and I do hope that we can come to some very good conclusions. Dr. Rashidi, at the end of last year in my state, requested and approved for the ABOD time limit waiver, 38 counties out of 39, including all those in my district. Now, just as I was talking about, with so many jobs open throughout the country and throughout the state, it seems to me that that's just a little counterintuitive, and I know you've addressed this somewhat, but would you agree that for states to continue to request and be granted these waivers doesn't quite add up?
It doesn't, and again, not all states kind of exploit some of the regulations set by FNS, but certainly the way the regulations are now, it allows states like yours to waive those requirements even when the unemployment rate is relatively low.
You also talked about the data is skewed, I think maybe the word you used, due to things like waivers and for states and inconsistent data. So could you talk a little bit more about the some of the data that we have available to us? Yeah,
no, that's a good question. And I wouldn't say it's skewed, and I don't think I use that term, but there's this issue of, all this research out there on work requirements. There's not a lot of looking at the enforcement of those work requirements. And I spent about a decade working for New York City. We implemented work requirements. I did a lot of field work. So the real question is, how are these enforced? Because if they're not effective because they're not enforced, that's not surprising. That doesn't tell us anything about the potential for effectiveness of those programs. And so I think we have to keep that in mind.
Mr. Schaefer, moving I really liked what I heard you say about the work that the CEO, the Center for Employment Opportunities, does and how it impacts the communities that you serve. I'd like to hear more about how you see your program help move participants towards self-sufficiency and how we can somehow translate that thought into strengthening the SNAP and the employment training opportunities.
Absolutely. The individuals who come to us from prison, half of whom have never worked before, rely on that nutrition assistance benefit for that initial lifeline. But what they're really looking for is the job training, the advanced credentialing to get them the full-time family sustaining wages that they need.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate all your being here.